Well, we were just kind of reacting to that trade for Sam Howell. Obviously, we were all wondering for a while what the Seahawks would do. Backup quarterback once Drew Lock went to the Giants. We'd been talking about Justin Fields as a potential target for the last 2 days, so Sam Howell was a bit of a surprise. What's your reaction to the new Bucky?
Look, I think it's a great move for the Seattle Seahawks to get Sam. Sam is a player who needed a change of scenery. He obviously is talented enough to make plays. We've seen that throughout his time with the Commanders, but he needs an opportunity to be able to kind of do it with someone that fully believes in his talents. Even though he goes to Seattle to be a backup to Geno Smith, I think he's a perfect developmental prospect to put behind Geno. And if he gets his opportunity, I think he'll thrive and flourish in what is a new and changing culture with Mike McDonald taking over.
Hey, Bucky, Schneider came out and said, look, Geno's the guy, and Sam is going to back him up. Obviously, you're not Geno. You don't know how he feels, but what do you think he feels? Does he think that his job is in jeopardy? Do you think that he feels over here? Or what are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, look, I think he has to understand the job of the general manager is to make sure that the team can exist with or without Geno Smith. And unfortunately, he missed some games last year. Like he had injuries. And so it's on John Snyder to make sure that he has a plan in place that if Geno is hurt or if someone misses games, that the team can still function at a high level. Sam Howell gives them that ability. Geno also has been around the league and know that, look, man, you're as good as you play. If he plays well, he won't have an issue. The only issue is hated if he doesn't play well. And so I am sure Geno's been around the block enough to know that he can only control the things that he can control, which is his performance. If he does that, plays at a high level, he doesn't have to worry about Sam Howell being in there. But I think for the team, when you're tasked with playing so many quarterbacks, like I think 68 quarterbacks played last year, started games in the National Football League, you got to have a good backup quarterback. Sam Howell gives them a really good backup quarterback.
Washington had Sam Howell as their starter. Now, even though he was benched later in the season and they had a little bit of a quarterback shuffle, then had an injury to Brissett, there was a point when they thought he might be the answer there. And there were rumblings in Washington of like, what if he's the guy? What do you think they saw when they made that decision?
The decision to bench him, or
to kind of to name him the starter in the first place, but also to think he might be the guy.
He's a talented player. Like, obviously, he went to my alma mater, so I'm a little jaded, but I've seen him, and I've seen him at his best. When he's surrounded by high-level players, he can play really good football. And I think when he was in Washington, he had some good players, but I don't know if that coaching staff necessarily put him in the best situations at all times. Now, I think you'll see him have an opportunity to play at his best. And if he is given an opportunity with the weapons that they have on the outside, JSN, DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, the running game and those things, look, I think he'll have an opportunity to be a really, really good player. But they just didn't have enough around him to allow him to really be the player that many people thought he could be when he came out of North Carolina.